I have been called upon by this place of learning and knowledge to impart to you some wisdom today, to set to rest a burning question that most folks have. Now, we all know, of course, the wonderful stories that Uncle Remus left us about Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox and all them varmints. Now, we do know those stories, right, honey? You know them stories? All right, okay. You know them stories? All right, I knew I was amongst a bunch of learned people. Well, you know, there's lots of stories about how Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox was always getting into a scuffle, with Brer Fox coming out on the short end of the stick most of the time. But a lot of folks is curious as to how them animals got here in the first place. Well, to be quite honest with you, they didn't always live down here on the earth. No sirree, Bob. They lived right next door to Sister Moon in the beginning. They was neighbors with her, so to speak, and probably would still be there today if Brer Rabbit and Sister Moon hadn't took to squabbling and fighting, honey, like a couple of old married folk, you know. Now, this is kind of how it went. The fellers would pull their lawn chairs out every single afternoon to watch Sister Moon get up and stretch and take her walk across the sky. They thought she was about the prettiest thing they had ever seen. Prettier than a speckled pup under a red wagon, she was. And every afternoon they would watch her, and she never disagreed with them. She thought herself to be a fine-looking specimen. But you know, one evening the fellas got to noticing that she was losing weight. She was losing a lot of her color, that she was looking a mite peaked. And Brer Rabbit, of course, never being one to be backwards, jumped right over the fence and approached her and said, "Sister Moon, honey, me and the fellers has noticed that you're looking quite puny. To be very honest with you, you look like Job's turkey. You know, I'm here to tell you, you're poor looking." And Sister Moon said, "Well, Brer Rabbit, I'm going to be quite honest with you. I ain't been feeling like myself. No, sirree, Bob. I'm not feeling right. You know, I think I may have caught a cold being out in the night air so much." She said, "If I don't put my light out pretty soon and get me some rest, I just ain't sure what's going to happen." "Oh, well," Brer Rabbit said, "Honey, I'm awful sorry to hear that. Is there anything I can do to help you?" Well, she looked that rabbit right square in the eye and she said, "Well, I'm going to tell you something. I don't quite think you're the man for the job, Brer Rabbit." Ooh, honey, that rankled that rabbit right from the top of his long jackrabbit ears right down to the long jackrabbit legs on his body. Not the man for the job, indeed, huh? Well, he got back as good as he give. "Well, I'll tell you one thing right now, Sister Moon. I'm as good a man as old man Sun that you chase all over the sky and can't seem to catch." Ooh, let me tell you, that didn't set too well with Sister Moon. "Well," she said with that little tight-lipped grin that women give when they're really aggravated. All you men know that look. "I'll give you a try," she says. "Here's what I need for you to do. I need to get word to Mr. Man that I'm going to put my light out, because I don't want him to look up here in the sky one night and not see me and get all worried and concerned. So I need for you to take him a message from me." "Okay," Brer Rabbit says, "I can do that." She says, "You go tell Mr. Man that I'm getting weak for to get more strong. I'm a-going in the shade for to get more light." Okay, Brer Rabbit, he repeated that over a couple of times, and he reared back and he took himself a long run and just that long jump right out into the air. He was falling past stars and planets. He was tumbling head over tail and ears over butt. Let me tell you something, his eyes bugged plumb out of his head. They got all big and wide, and he was a-trembling and a-shaking. Oh, this was the last time that his mouth was going to get him into a mess that his feet couldn't get him out of. He was beginning to wonder if he was ever going to hit earth when, boom, there he was, finally touched down. He got up and kind of shook himself off a little bit, see if he had all of his parts and they was all still in working order. And sure enough, they was. And when he looked around, he discovered he had landed right smack dab in the middle of Mr. Man's spring garden. Oh my goodness gracious, they was peas and carrots and young tender lettuce and collard greens, a little asparagus over on the side, and over next to that in the meadow was all kinds of critters, cows and sheep and fattening hogs. Woo! His little mouth was a-trembling and a-watering all at the same time. Well, he got up and he took a snack a little bit toward Mr. Man's door, and he finally got over to Mr. Man's house, and he knocked on that door. Mr. Man answered it, and he said, "Mr. Man, I have a message for you from..." Sister Moon says she's plumb tuckered out, and she's going to put her light out and go where the shadows live. Oh, my gosh, Mr. Man didn't take that news very well. He said, "Huh, is that so? Will you take this message back to Sister Moon? You tell her, seldom seen, soon forgot, and when she dies, I hope her feet gets cold." Well, Brer Rabbit, he snatched him up a few more little blades of asparagus, and right on up he jumped, that long jump right back on up into the sky. Went straight to Sister Moon and told her what Mr. Man had said. Yeah. Sister Moon took herself, honey, a conniption fit. Have you ever seen a conniption fit? Oh, Lord, they're ugly. I think she Brer Rabbit had messed that message up, and the first thing she done was she reached over in her garden shed and she pulled out a shovel and she smacked that rabbit right smack dab in the face with it, hit him so hard that it split his lip plumb open. Not to be one to take treatment like that sitting down, Brer Rabbit jumped right straddle of her, and they fit and rolled all over the sky. Brer Rabbit was a-biting and a-kicking and a-gouging. Well, when they had fit till they couldn't fit no more, Brer Rabbit, he drug himself back over the fence, and he started telling Brer Wolf and Brer Fox and Brer Bear all about Mr. Man's garden and all the other animals he saw down there. It didn't take too much collaboration for them to decide that Sister Moon was on her own. You know that old saying, pretty is as pretty does. She'd lost some of her attraction and charm for them fellers, and they all took the long jump and landed right down here on this earth. And from that point on, there was a lot of comings and goings, a lot of tales to be told, and if you're not familiar with these stories, I hope you find yourself a good storyteller or a good book here in this wonderful place of learning and knowledge and find out about the stories of Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear. I want to thank you all for letting me come and help dispel the myth and to set things straight as to how them varmints got down here. And I hope that wherever you are, you take your story with you. Thank you. Thank you.